So again, for me, it is so stupid to see that even when there are hardcore studies that you can literally see from the results itself that things aren't working, it isn't working. There has to be a different way for us to save people's lives. That's what I'm all about. I want to save their lives. I don't want anyone to die for some stupid idea that they have in their head. I just want people to live, right? That's what I want for everyone. And when we clearly see that it isn't working and it's actually making people's lives worse, why should we encourage that? Why should we encourage people going down this line that could potentially lead them to the self-destructive ideology or mindset that they might have? And again, there's plenty of testimonies of that as well that confirm this as well. And if you think about it in a very logic way, a very logic and undeniable way, anyone who transitions is by default not happy with themselves. It might sound very cruel what I'm saying and very fucked up, but just think about it in a logical sense. Anyone, again, think about it. Who would say like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go be the other gender for shits and giggles? There has to be some kind of disdain for themselves that they feel the need to change. And they aren't gonna do it because they're happy, because if they are, why would they change? It doesn't make sense. Just for you guys as well, just think about it. Anyone who is trans, by definition, if they feel the need to transition from their own gender to something else, that's because they don't want that. They don't want to be the gender that they are, meaning that they are unhappy with themselves as they are. Like they don't want to be a man or a woman or whatever. It is by definition because of unhappiness in whatever level that it is that they feel the need to be like, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore, which is a sense of unhappiness, which is a sentiment of unhappiness, that they therefore need to go to the other gender or the other team. That is a mundane fact and definition that you can see there for yourself, because why else would you do it? Why else would you do something as drastic as that? That is something that we really need to tackle though, like in general, and not only with trans people, mind you, just in general. Depression is something that we really need to combat properly. We really need to be able to do something way better for people who are depressed. But the problem now is that, especially with social media, is that the people will tell you or will tell people who are struggling that if you do this, you will be happy. That is the issue that we have right now, and it's happening all over the place, where people are being told, especially children as well, that if you do this, you will be super happy. Take it from me. You know, that's some stuff that people will say, like, just believe me because I've done it. Therefore, I know I can speak from experience that if you do this, you will also be happy. No, there is no secret key to happiness in life. It is not the same thing for everyone. But people see it that way. People see like, oh, they do this and it makes them happy. I'm going to do that as well. You know what that is? Literally a trend. It is literally a fucking trend because that is what is happening. It is like, I will say it over and over again that transgender, like anything transgender is a trend. That it is people just jumping on a bandwagon. It's people jumping on a bandwagon because they see like, oh, they're doing it or the rest of the world is doing it. Not the rest, whatever percentage. They see it happening and they want to be part of that so that they fit in, but also because they are unhappy with themselves and depressed, and therefore see that as like the solution to fixing their not their happiness, but their depression, their sadness. It is a thing that people just jump to for validation, and that is the issue. That people take it too far. People take it way too far, to the point that they need to be something that they are not.
It's just messed up. Just because you have a son, you're not gonna love him, but until you transition him, you're gonna love him. Like, that's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's a fucking trend.
That is indeed fucked up. And that is what society is right now, because it's not only with parents, and when parents do that, they don't deserve to be parents in the first place, because then literally their offspring is being seen as cannon fodder for their own political gain. And that is absolutely fucking disgusting. But that is why people want us to accept this, to accept this whole transgender thing, because the only way that they can get any more people in there is by recruiting people. Again, like I've said it before, children are the easiest they're malleable. They're very malleable to have them sway in a certain way, right? And with people who are also like struggling and are sad and are looking for a purpose and validation, those are also the easiest ones to validate because, or to have so malleable in their own direction. Because if you think about it, if they really want everyone to be in there, why aren't they going to elderly homes? Why aren't they going to like veterans of the army, for example? Why aren't they going for the homes or shelter for the homeless? Like, why aren't they going to those places? Why? Because they're usually older people and they know that they won't buy their bullshit because they themselves know that it is bullshit. They know that other people are not, especially in those instances, like for example in shelters for the homeless or the elderly, for example, that they won't buy it. They know that it's not right. They know that it's not, that whatever they're trying to preach is not right. So that's why they have this thing. That's why they like going for people who are mentally unstable and the children who don't know what the world is all about. They need to be taught properly about what the world is all about, how the world is, and not by affirming a lie to them so that they might think that in the future that it will be better for them, but it won't. Because in the long run, it will hurt them. And in the long run, it will also damage them in so many ways that is irreparable or unfixable, basically. But whenever we say that, whenever we want the best for people, we get seen as transphobic and hateful and bigoted and whatever the hell, right? And again, that's the issue. That, like, for me, if someone is able to make a rational decision for themselves, individually, for themselves to transition, I have no problem with that. I would prefer that they would love themselves as they are. I would always advocate for that. But if they see there is no other option but for them to transition, and they do it so individually to themselves, without involving anyone else in the whole situation, fine by me. But if you're going to transition and force everyone else to apply or to comply to your lie and your delusion and enforce, and otherwise if we don't, we get hated and slandered for it and canceled for it in all kinds of ways. That is the problem that we have with the whole transgender thing. Whether someone individually is trans or not, I don't give two shits about that. I really don't. I will see you as you are. I will not comply. But that doesn't mean that I hate you. There's a very big difference with that. I don't hate you when I say that I don't comply with the transgender thing. It's just that you have the right to live your life as you see fit, but just as such, so does everyone else on the fucking planet.